we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So today I have to introduce the workings of Kamma, how Kammas are functioning in our daily life, every day, every hour, every minute, and every seconds. We are making many different actions. So some of our actions are very powerful. Some of our actions are very weak. What make strong and weak? So mostly it depends on our mind. If our mind power is very strong and powerful, we also make very strong and powerful Kamma. So when our mind power become very weak, we also make very weak Kamma. Then again, we also have to know what kind of Kamma is heavier or stronger. Now we also have to know why it's stronger. So when we study Buddha's Abhidhamma, we have a kind of Kamma called weighty Kamma or mighty Kamma. So when we read many of Buddhist texts, if we search in Tipitaka weighty Kamma or mighty Kamma, it will explain only unwholesome weighty Kamma. But there are also wholesome weighty Kamma. So all of us have known unwholesome weighty Kamma, I think. So the first two is matricide and patricide. We can say killing parents. Why it become very heavy Kamma? In our life, we have many friends. We have many other people around us. But we have only one mother and one father, not more than that. Then there's also value. The value is they have love and kindness toward their children. Whether we are good or bad, they will still love. This is their mind. But there will be some exception. There are some parents, they may not have that kind of mind. But mostly, whether their children is good or bad, they still love their children. We may have many teachers, but our parents are the first teacher. So if we summarize, they have very powerful gratitudes to their children. That's why they are more valuable. So that is why we call, if we kill parents, it become weighty Kamma or mighty Kamma. Then it means this weighty or mighty Kamma comes from value, the value of the living beings. For example, Arhat. Arhat is also free from defilements, very high quality, very high concentration, very high wisdom. If we kill an Arhat, this is also called mighty Kamma. Then what about the Buddha? We cannot kill the Buddha, sure. But if we try to enjoy the Buddha or shedding the blood in the Buddhas, this is also called mighty Kamma. Then, if we summarize the first part of mighty Kamma, this means if we try to kill very valuable living beings, also very high standard living beings, or qualified living beings, it becomes mighty Kamma. So if we summarize, weighty Kamma and mighty Kamma come from the value of living beings. Okay, for modern society, if somebody kills ordinary people, and if somebody kills or assassinates the president, which was heavier, why it become different? Different value. So, although we have the same value, but it depends on our mind, how strong our intention, how long do we make efforts. Then it also depends on how strong our defilement. So, this is a heavier and heavier unwholesome karma. Then we also have to talk about the next mighty karma. That one is called making schism or creating schism in Sangha. So there are many foundations or bases of schism. Then explaining or introducing untruth Dhamma to one bhikkhus, persuade many other bhikkhus. Then, for example, there are hundreds of bhikkhus in one community. If one lay devotee or one bhikkhu trying to persuade to follow his wrong idea, and also if 4 bhikkhus follow him, it's schism already. So that means, so again, we also have to know that introducing untrue Dhamma as a true Dhamma is very dangerous. So you can practically experience untrue Dhamma is a very, very easy to follow, right? But true Dhamma is very, very difficult to follow. No discipline is free, right? We have many disciplines, not free. So similarly, no Vinaya is easy. If we have to follow many Vinaya rules, very difficult to survive. So similarly, there are many other explanations of schism. Okay, now modern society, we can also find many modern Dhamma, a little bit far from the Buddha. So that means, if we introduce non-Buddha teaching as a Buddha teaching, this is also a dangerous case. It also can be the foundation, the base of schism. Okay, now we have learned mighty karma. But here, one more additional thing we have to talk about it. That one is wrong view. Persistent wrong view or unchangeable wrong view. Most or less, almost everybody has wrong view. So before knowing the truth, we may hold wrong view. When we come to know the truth, we will change. But there are some wrong view holders. They were trying to project their wrong view using many different types of logic, many source reference from many different books to prove that they are right. So that means some of the wrong view are very harmful for community. It is also very harmful for the wrong view holder himself. Although we know it's very harmful, also very harmful for himself, very harmful for environment or community, keep holding wrong view, unchangeable, more dangerous. Then as a result of wrong view, although we have made very serious mistakes, we may not regret. This is the power of wrong view. There are many, many wrong view holders nowadays. Although they had made very serious mistakes, they don't regret. Even they don't accept it as mistake. So this is the power of wrong view. Okay, so if we summarize, these are mighty, unwholesome karma. So very powerful, right? Then we also have wholesome mighty karma. But very few people know that kind of mighty karma. Okay, so I should introduce for your own knowledge and for comparison. You can compare by yourself. Dana and Sila, which ones are more difficult? If you have money, you can offer easily, right? For Sila, not easy. You have to do something. You have to take some responsibility for yourself. Without responsibility, without undertaking, you cannot observe results. So Sila is a training, bodily actions and bhava action. So if we don't wish to do anything, we can sleep, we can lay down and sleep without doing anything, it's okay, right? We can control our bodily action by sleeping. Then if we don't wish to speak, also we can use solitaire to close our mouth. Right? We can stop speaking. So for bodily actions and bhava actions, if we don't control, if someone is powerful or influential, they can control our action. Don't speak, don't move, possible. right? What about mental action? Can you control other people's mind? Don't think. Impossible. So that means training your mind is a samatha. Sila and samatha, which ones are more difficult? You can imagine. Right? Now you are doing meditation, right? You can practically know it. So the teacher will recommend you. Don't think many things. Don't follow the thoughts. Right? Don't analyze too much. They will instruct you many different ways of training mind, but not easy. If we say don't think, we need to think more. Right? If we say don't analyze, we need to analyze more. This is the nature of mind. That's why samatha is more difficult. Okay, when you meditate, the focus on the breath, and the time when you are focused on the nimitta, it will be different mind power. When you focus on the nimitta, and when you experience asset concentration, focus on the nimitta, then asset concentration is more powerful. So asset concentration in first jhana, the first jhana will be more powerful. Then your first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana, different power. So similarly, material jhana and immaterial jhanas, we may have different mind power. So it depends on how skillful we are. It does not depend on how long we meditate. Right? It depends on how diligent we are also. So before we encounter difficulty, we are very smart, very strong. When we encounter difficulty, then our mind power become weaker and weaker. Finally run away. So that means to attain wholesome, mighty Kamma or weighty Kamma, we have to put very strong efforts. We have to be diligent, we must be skillful, we have to use a lot of mind power to achieve. That's why it becomes weighty Kamma. Then you can experience again samatha and vipassana. Which one is easier, which one is difficult? Actually, samatha is the only foundation. Vipassana must be stronger, it must be better. So if we can attain path and fruition knowledge, it's unchangeable, very strong, very powerful, mighty Kamma. So as we have explained in our wholesome weighty Kamma, it is our mind power. When we are doing our wholesome Kamma, if we are very strong, especially if we have very strong mind power, it will be stronger akusala. Similarly, when we are doing wholesome, we put very strong mind power, it will be stronger Kamma. So I should give one simile, right? One example. If we have very big fire burning, we have very small amount of water, we cannot extinguish. Right? So if we wish to extinguish big fire, we should have very big amount of water. Then similarly, if we have very big amount of water, like ocean, we have very small fire, we cannot heat it. We cannot make the water warm or heat. Mostly in our daily life, we have done many mistakes. Most of them are not that much serious. Then if we have very strong and powerful, weighty, wholesome Kamma, we can remove it easily. If we have very weak unwholesome Kamma, right? We have very strong wholesome Kamma. Very strong wholesome Kamma can remove or overcome small unwholesome Kamma. You may know that the Buddha has a headache, right? You may know that Buddha has a headache, very serious headache. That's Kamma. If ordinary people had to suffer from that kind of sickness, it will pass away. But the Buddha can overcome. Why? Because he had attained many attainments, very high attainment. His mind power is stronger. That is why when he enters into attainment, he cannot know the pain in his body. Do you remember one day Venerable Buddha was stricken by a yaka. Actually, it's very terrible, very loud. One strike, it produces very loud sound. Then you can see how strong striking. But for Venerable Sariputta, it's nothing. Why it happened? Because he can enter into fruition attainment, cessation attainment easily. Then everybody knows Venerable Mahamoggallana, the last moment. The Buddha said the last day. He was crushed by or smashed by 500 people. You can imagine how tired it was. But he didn't pass away. Why? But in modern society, if we say that kind of thing is impossible, it will be maybe long time ago it's possible. Now it's impossible. They may say like that. There are many people they may not believe that kind of story, let alone attaining jhana. Okay? If in our modern society, if somebody has experienced tranquility, rapture, and joy, then they may not know their body anymore, and they will realize it's possible. Don't think about jhana or further fruition only very far. Just basic level we can imagine. So if we summarize, the Buddha has to suffer from many sickness according to his past karma. Venerable Sariputta has to suffer. Venerable Mahamoggallana has to suffer. But for them, it's no problem. Why? All the unwholesome karma is removed by present wholesome karma. Very powerful wholesome karma. So that means if we have done very strong and powerful unwholesome karma, then we cannot expect higher attainment. Then similarly, if we have done very strong and powerful wholesome karma, like a path and fruition knowledge, we cannot expect to be living in the hell. Although you wish, it's impossible. So if we have weighty karma or mighty karma, it will decide our future destination. So if we don't have wholesome mighty karma or unwholesome mighty karma, we may have another type of karma. It can produce its result. It can decide our future. That is called near-death moment karma. So near-death moment karma means we may do some dana, sila, samatha, vipassana in our near-death moment. Then, in this case, we also need other people's help. Sometimes we can do it alone. But mostly, for very weak person, we may need somebody to help us, to have that kind of wholesome karma. So you may have seen many people pass away calmly and quietly. There are many people they pass away screaming, shouting, crying, very terribly and pass away. We don't need to know what kind of karma they have done in the past. In their near-death moments, we can easily know what happened in their future. Then we also have one story in Buddha's teaching. So Venerable Sona was an Arhat, but his father was a hunter. You can imagine what the difference between son and father. When his father grew older, he cannot hunt anymore. Venerable Sona encouraged his father to ordain as a bhikkhu. But the old bhikkhu cannot meditate very seriously because too old already. He didn't have very strong willingness, mind power, and bodily power. That is why he just spent his time normally. Then the problem was in his near-death moment. When he was dying, then he asked for help. My son, please help me. Many dogs coming to me, many eagles. Then he said, there are many vultures coming to me. Please help me, they are going to attack me. And Venerable Sona realized he's not his son. Then he asked his disciple to collect flower in the forest. Then he just encouraged his father, please hold it, this flower from pine forest. Then we are going to offer this flower to the Buddha. Try to think about the Buddha. Then the sign of destination changed. Then the father reminded his son, my son, don't come near to me. There are your stepmothers here. That means many devas come. So that means near that moment, Kamma also can change destination. So we need help of other people. If we have good friends, we can get that kind of destination sign. Now, as Venerable Sona have done for his father, similarly there must be somebody who can do for us. When I give the kind of Dhamma talk in Myanmar, especially when I have to do Anumodana for full dana, the power doya, I also remind local people, especially local people came. So when somebody offer in our monastery, we received, then signed by the receiver, piece of paper, cut piece of paper, pass to donor, right? How do you call this one? Receive, right? Receive. How many receipt do you have? Keep all the receipt. Then see which receipt make you happy more. If you have 10 or 100, better. See again and again. Be happy what you have done in the past. There are many similar cases. I don't remember the name of the king. Actually, I don't have that much time to read many books also now. Okay, there are one king in Sri Lanka. So he offered many things for sadhana or sangha. Now one day, when he was going around in the forest, only his charioteer, a horse, and himself. There's also a bag of rice in their hand. Then the charioteer cooked the rice. Then the king asked to divide into 3 portions. One portion equally divided into 3. He didn't bully anybody. Right? One portion for the horse, one portion for the charioteer, one portion for him. From his portion, he divided into half again. Then he also thought, in my life, without offering, I have never eaten before. Now it's not enough time to offer because I'm not yet known time. If there is some bhikkhu who came and received, I will offer. He is waiting. Fortunately, one bhikkhu came. He offered half of his portion. Then his charity also offered half. Also, the horse also wished to offer. He showed some behavior, cut half of portion from the horse, also offer. So when he was dying, he has many donations. Then there are just a record, very long record of his dana. Then when the one who reached for his records read out about his dana in the forest, half of his portion to one bhikkhu. He was very happy. He passed with that kind of consciousness, that kind of happiness there. Okay, you may think it's a very long time ago. It's impossible nowadays, right? You may think like that. So, you may have been to Sri Lanka, Myanmar, right? Many of you, when you have been to Myanmar, you may have been to Sri Lanka in Yangon. Very well-known pagoda in Yangon. So, who do you think the first donor who offered the payment in that pagoda? It was offered by a queen or an empress. The name of the queen is Shinsobu. When she was dying, she did the same. One of his attendants had to read out all her donation. In modern society, we have more helper, so we have this divide, right? Right? Press one button, you can listen very long time, whole day, whole night, no problem. Although nobody reads for you, you have enough battery power, you can listen whole day, whole night. That's record everything. Okay, if we summarize, near-death moment karma is also important. So somebody can help us, or it can be like a telephone or MP3 player or anything, they can also help us. So if you used to listen Dhamma talk, sure, when you're near-death moment, just play the Dhamma talk whole day, whole night possible. So if we don't have very powerful mighty karma, wholesome mighty karma, then we have near-death moment karma. It will decide our future. Then one more here. The one is habitual karma. So we also have habits, tendency, and temperament. So when we have a good habit, make the habit stronger and powerful. For example, we may offer foods for the Buddha almost every day before lunch, for example. Maintain that kind of habit. Then similarly, you may have habit of offering water to the Buddha every day. Maintain the habit. So this is the dharma. Then sila, we may have good habit of sila. Try to maintain sila. So if your daily life is 5 precepts, for example, from time to time you can also try 8 precepts, 10 precepts. Mostly when we talk about sila, we also misunderstand. It means just following 5 precepts, 8 precepts like this. Actually, sila is very, very wide. There are many things to do. So we also can do our own discipline. I want to do that kind of things, I want to do that kind of things. We can discipline by ourselves. So this means self-discipline is more important. Right? If we follow Buddha teaching, this is not made by ourselves. Sometimes we are not very willing to do, right? If we make our own discipline, we have to follow. But anyway, we have to use a lot of mind power to make that kind of discipline also, to follow our own discipline also. Okay, here when we say habitual karma, it also can be some actions we do every day or every second day or once a week, or maybe we can also say like 10 times a month, for example, 10 days a week, or 10 days a month, something like that. If we have that kind of activity also can be considered as habitual karma. So when we are used to be with good action, the only one we are going to do something that our mind will be a little bit heavy, not that much willing. This is good enough already. So we have now 3 types of karma, right? Vedic karma is the most powerful. Second one is near-death moment karma. Now next one is habitual karma. Now okay, the last type of karma. Here with the last topic. After that I will stop this time I talk, right? The next section maybe. Okay, now again, that was accomplished karma or just mere action. So there are many actions we have never done purposely. It will happen by accident. For example, on the way, we may step on some insects, we don't know. After that, we remember that one, we regret or remorse. Opposite mind again. Unintentional action, or maybe just normal action. We are used to with some kind of action. This is also called accomplished karma. Mind power. We don't have very strong defilements to do it. Now we don't have very strong intention to do it, but we have done like a normal. Then that kind of karma also can produce or can decide our future. So this is the weakest unwholesome or wholesome karma. Okay, so now I should stop here, right? May you all be able to train yourself to establish concentration, wisdom, and a higher stage. And may you all be able to realize the final cessations, the end of suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now, what to do? Share merit? Okay. All of you can chant Idame Punya, right? Yes. Okay, we can chant together, right? Yes. Idame Punya Asawakaya Vaham Hotu Idame Punya Nibbanasa Bhajayo Hotu Mama Punya Bhagam Sabasakana Bhajemi Desabe Me Sama Punya Bhagam Gabantu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu